Just finished reading this late last night. What's up, you guys? It's Dan with another book review. This time we're reviewing Fight Club by Chuck Palahniuk. This was copyrighted 1996, and I kind of want to throw in this little tidbit that the author had originally published this as a 7-page short story, and I guess he said chapter 6 was the original story, and then he kind of added some bullshit to it, kind of fleshed it out more from stories that he had heard from his friends, like about people contaminating food who were waiters and stuff like that. So yeah, cult classic. It's considered a classic. I feel like I was one of the last few people to read this. I feel like everybody and their brother has already read this, and I finally got around to reading it. This has been on my to-be-read list for a very long time. I will admit I saw the film that starred Ed Norton and Brad Pitt a long time ago. I haven't seen it since I picked this up and read it. So, I mean, there were some scenes that kind of like, I'd have like little flashbacks from the movie, like Big Bob, like I kind of remembered what Big Bob looked like from the movie. So, yeah. And I even went so far as to read the sequel to this, which is a graphic novel, before I even read this. I know. Bad. I shouldn't have done that, but yeah, it happened. Because I figured, I've seen the film. I can go ahead and read the sequel, right? But I do have to say, I think the author agrees with me on this, that a lot of this book is open to interpretation. He's kind of under the leanings that if you think there's some kind of hidden meaning in it that you've found for yourself, then go right on and believe that that's what this book is about. But I'm kind of glad that the author included an afterword and kind of talked about the book and discussed like that kind of idea that people had these crazy things that they had taken from the book, because I could totally see some people saying that. And then I can also see at the same time, the author tried to say or suggest that this was a love, romance kind of thing in some way, which I didn't really see. Because, okay, we're going to talk about what are the characters in this book. We have the narrator, which doesn't have a name, and I almost kind of wonder if the narrator is not named because the author, maybe, he doesn't say this, but I think maybe he wants him to be relatable. He can be any guy in any situation. He just wants him to be relatable, that it could be you. There is Tyler Durden, and there is Marla Singer. And I'm not going to spoil it for those who have not seen, by chance, if you lived under a rock and never saw the movie, you haven't read the book and you don't know who these characters are, I'm not going to spoil it for you. I'm not going to assume that you have had any interaction with the Fight Club, which the first rule of Fight Club is we're not supposed to mention Fight Club, so we're already screwed. But yeah, I mean, I got the impression that this book was just madness and mayhem. We got some guy who, to break up the monotony in his life, decides to do these radical things, and he starts Fight Club. And Fight Club has certain rules, and you're not allowed to talk about it because it's not supposed to be a trend. It's not supposed to be popular. It's not supposed to be a thing that everybody's going to jump on the bandwagon for, which kind of happened with the book. But at the same time, I'm reading the afterword by the author, and it kind of makes sense. He said that he wrote this book at a time period when there was the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, there was the Yaya Sisterhood, and there were all these books for women that were kind of trying to show women how you should be a sisterhood and how you should be together, and he felt like this was his solution for men. And it was kind of like for men who grew up without fathers, and there's this kind of analogy he uses repeatedly, how like guys or people perceive God and they look to their father figure as being that example of God. And I thought that was kind of interesting and strange at the same time, but I can kind of understand why he would think something like that. Yeah, I mean, I chose to read this over. It's a very short read. It was only 217 pages, at least the copy I have. I do have 2 copies of this. I picked up another copy at a library book sale, which I will be showing this in my next pickups video if you're subscribed to my channel. So, yeah, you'll see this book again. But I decided to pick up a copy for myself because I did borrow it from the library, the one that I read for this review, but I did pick up a copy for myself. I don't know how many pages that are, but it's a relatively short book. You can probably read it in a very quick amount of time. But I decided to savor it because I wanted to read it slowly over a period of time because I didn't want to miss out on anything. In case you know, this book had a deeper meaning, which I think the author was trying to say there is no real deep meaning unless you find one for yourself. And he's willing and okay with people finding a deeper meaning, which I thought was pretty cool. I mean, if you're like, hey, you know, whatever. I mean, he has some examples of some crazy ideas that people had approached him with after reading his book. It's almost comical, but yeah, it's worth reading the afterword. And I'm safe to say I was okay with the way this book ended. Not that I didn't see it coming, because like I said, madness and mayhem. And I won't say too much more on those lines, but yes, it is an intense ride at times, and there are times where you're just kind of like, I felt like it was just okay. But in the end, I decided to rate this 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. It is worth picking up and reading. It is a classic. I think that if you are a guy, maybe you should go out and get this, read it. Definitely. Am I saying you should go out and join a fight club? No, I'm not saying that. I mean, I don't feel like my life is I mean, sometimes my life can be monotonous, hectic, crazy, but it's not boring enough where I need that kind of adventure in my life, such as Fight Club. But to each his own. Of course, as always, I will have a link down below if you'd like to purchase this book for yourselves. Any and all purchases made through that link, even if you buy something as small as a bookmark, helps out my channel. I get a small percentage of every sale. I don't get AdSense. People are coming here watching my reviews, but they're just not subscribed. So if you're one of those people who came here for the review, hit that subscriber link. And while you're there, hit that notification bell. I also do, a majority of my book reviews are comic books and graphic novels. So if you are into that kind of stuff, yeah, you definitely should hit that subscriber link. Also, I have the tip jar if you guys can help me out. I need some movie editing software. I need lighting. I need microphones. Definitely general improvements for my channel. Any and all tips are greatly appreciated. I do appreciate everybody who has purchased stuff through the links or who've helped out with the tip jar. I do appreciate it. That's all I got for you guys. Thanks for watching. Till next time. Later.